Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, let's talk about backhands today. One-hander or two-hander? Got to think about this one a little bit. Stay tuned. All right, guys, got my Odyssey blend today. Actually, I like this blend. It tastes very dark roasty-ish and kind of robustly strong. That's the only way I can describe it. But it's really good, though. I mean, it's a different twist to my dark roast, which I really do like. And sponsoring my Odyssey blend today is Larry and Laura Sailing. Larry and Laura writes, "Thank you for all the instruction on stringing rackets. Thank you for learning. I hope I made the process easy and simple, because that's what I was just trying to do. Okay? Teach the world to string." Sounds like a Coke commercial. Anyways, thank you, Laura, Larry and Laura, for hooking it up. If you want to hook up my morning roast to kickstart me every day, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. Thank you all for keeping it going. Odyssey. Okay. So, backhand. Are you a one-hander or a two-hander? Why are you a one-hander or a two-hander? That is the question. So, as you guys know, I'm a one-hander, right? When I was growing up, Johnny Mac was who I wanted to be, who I emulated. So, one-hander for everything. Obviously, in that time frame, we had Jimmy Connors, two-hander, Bjorn Borg, two-hander, Ivan Lendl, one-hander. So it was like, I actually like Lendl's backhand too. But Johnny Mac was who I wanted to be. And I even tried to go left-handed myself. I could have been Nadal, man. So I go one-hander because I started young and I emulated the player that I wanted to be. Would I have been better off with a two-handed backhand? Probably, since I was toting around a wooden racket. But let's pose this question on coaches. Like, why are they one-handed? Why are they two-handed? Right? Maybe it's the same situation as with me. They were trying to be their pro that they looked up to. Right? So let's go on the road, see what the coaches say. Stay tuned. All right, so I got Coach Lisa Berg here. Coach, you have a one-handed or a two-handed backhand?
Well, I have a two-handed backhand if I'm hitting topspin. If I'm doing slice, I kind of hit it and let go. I think when I was first learning the game, I pretty much hit a two-hander and then kind of let go. But as I started playing more and more and got into playing in college and all that, I found I got a lot more control and, pace by using two hands all the way. So I use two hands pretty much when I top and more of a one-hander when I slice.
So you were taught a two?
I was taught a two. Yeah, but it was like I said, when I was learning back then, topspin was really just kind of coming into being. There was a lot more slice going on, and I think it was the Chris Evert era and Jimmy Connors that really got the two-hander going. And for my size, the two-hander made more sense.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you, Coach Lisa. All right, so Coach Chris in the house. One-hander or two-handed backhand? We know you play with a two, but why?
So the main reason I play with a two is that I think of my backhand as a shield. My forehand is more as a sword. So I like to attack more on the forehand. And for the shield purposes, my backhand is a little bit more on the defensive side. But it doesn't mean that I could also attack with it too. It's just for the purposes of the game that's kind of developed right now in terms of modern tennis. a lot of people are more used to using their forehand as kind of an attacking, using a little bit more aggressive, and the backhand is a lot more on the defensive side, and that's where typically you see the most common play on TV, and all levels really. So that's one of the reasons why I use two-handed backhand, is so that I can handle pace a lot more and try to neutralize a lot of the balls coming in a little bit faster to my backhand side to then shift around and look for my forehand.
Have you ever had a one-handed backhand?
I've tried a little bit. My one-handed backhand short court is pretty good, but on the baseline, it needs a little bit more work. I just probably need a little bit more time. I did play with it for like maybe 6 months to try a little bit more, but we settled still more on the two-handed one. So.
Okay. Yeah, Chris actually has a great two-handed backhand. I've seen it. It's the forehand that has problems. All right, thank you, Coach Chris. All right, so I'm going to pose this question on Ivy from Washington, D.C. here. On your backhand, do you have a two-handed or one-handed, and why?
Oh gosh, I'm embarrassed to say this. Sadly, I have a two-handed backhand. I've been trying to work on my one-handed backhand, but for some reason, I don't know. I'm just like, I can't get it.
So you were taught a two-handed
yes,
backhand?
I was taught a two-handed backhand, so it's been always. And then, I see people doing the one-handed, and I'm like, I want to learn. Just can't get it.
So I feel like in this case, it's kind of like hair. I don't have any, so it doesn't pertain to me. But straight-haired people want curly hair, and curly-haired people want straight hair. So two-handed backhands want one-handed want two-handed. So I feel like a two-handed is more stable in most cases, especially like return a serve and getting your legs lined up into that thing. So I wish I had a two-handed sometimes.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because during the moment of truth and return a serve, my brain goes, slice! So I wind up like this. Whereas if I had a two, I could just turn and go. Because it's hard to get your brain to like be stand. Only stand just goes. But at the moment of truth, when that thing's coming 100 plus miles an hour, you're like, default, slice. So, right?
Gotcha. I see.
So just my thought process in the matter.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ivy. All right, Coach Goo.
Yes.
One-handed or two-handed backhand? I know you have a two, but why do you have a two?
Why do I have a two-handed backhand? One, for stability. I feel like I do get a lot more control, a lot more plow through my shot, especially on my left hand. If I focus more on my left hand, I do get an easier access to more spin and stability. Two, I feel like I am more connected. For example, I feel like when I use my body and I turn my shoulders, when I'm using my two-hander, I do feel the momentum shift forward more. I feel like as a one-hander, it's pretty hard to kind of flow through it, even though it's a little more flexible. I don't feel the solid connection between using the one-hander versus the two. And lastly, honestly, the biggest reason is I love returning quicker with my backhand. So especially kind of returning a second serve, I like to kind of jump up and attack. That's why for me, it's pretty easy to be aggressive with the two-handed backhand and defend as well. So those are pretty much the three things I would say that I love about the two-hander, or why I'm a two-hander.
Got it. But you told me you were a one-hander at one time.
Yeah, when I was younger, I actually was taught the one-hander when I was probably 5 or 6. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot to tote around for a 5 or 6 year old.
I mean, I was using an adult racket, so yeah, probably it wasn't the smartest idea.
Just like me, I had a wooden racket trying to be McEnroe.
Yeah, I started as a one-hander and then slowly transitioned to a two-hander.
All right, thank you, Coach Goo.
Of course.
All right, so I'm going to pose this question on Coach Rob. We all know Coach Rob has a one-handed backhand. Coach Rob, why do you have a one-handed backhand?
Well, my feet couldn't get me in position when I was young enough to hit a good two-hander. So I started with a two-hander, And footwork wise, this was kind of before open stance. It was still back in the day where we were trying to step into everything. And Rob was kind of tall, gangly, and not super coordinated running to his left. So as I got a little bigger and a little stronger and I started learning how to slice, I then realized, hey, I could just turn my shoulders and swing with one hand. And I could get to a lot more balls and had a lot more success that way.
So they tried to teach you a two-hander?
Well, when I started when I was little, everybody was learning with two back then.
Right.
So I started with the two and then adopted the one-hander probably somewhere in high school. I didn't play a ton in high school. I played a lot before that. Played more soccer and baseball in high school and then played in college. Went back to tennis.
Did you ever do this? So this has been a perfect question to pose on Coach Rob. Did you ever do the hybrid method where you kind of get to the ball and then kind of do this deal?
Probably a little bit unknowingly, just because I couldn't get my feet in position to like really give it the real good follow through. So I was taller. Well, I guess I'm the same height. We're shrinking, but being that I was taller when I was young, tall pretty quick, I was a little gangly and just couldn't put all the coordination together to do it right enough of the time. And being taller, I sort of went to the one-hander because back then we were going to the net all the time. And with my size, it was like hit 4 in a row. That's a win for me and get to the net. So if I could hit 3 forehands and 1 backhand and find a way to go in and volley, great. Okay. I was going to have way more success that way than trying to ever have a 10-ball rally.
Got it. So why do a 10-ball rally with a two-handed backhand when you can do with a 4-ball and one-handed backhand? Right?
Well, I couldn't hold my breath that long. So I was always having trouble remembering to exhale when I hit. So that could have had something to do with the lack of footwork.
Maybe you should have been a diver.
Probably should have taken more lessons. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Rob.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all the pros for explaining to us why they have a one or a two-handed backhand. Now, I have a one-handed backhand because when I was growing up with a wooden racket, I wanted to be John McEnroe. So, and I even tried, to hit left-handed like him. So, and not too many people played two-handed back then. It was a lot of the stroke was a little bit different. It wasn't like it's a sweeping backhand like it is now. It's more of like a half slice, half flat kind of a stroke since it was a wooden racket. The first time I ever saw a two-handed backhand was like on the women's side with Chris Everett. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, but that's a woman's shot. So I didn't even think about doing a two-handed until, when was that? It was like in high school. And we were doing like a clinic. And the guy said, you ever think about trying a two? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, try it today. So he taught me how to do a two, right? But the problem was I couldn't get my leg around to get through it all the time. And it felt like left hand didn't talk to right hand very well since I was so used to right hand dominant. So I kind of gave that up pretty quickly. I tried it again later on just because return a serve was just default. Like I said, default to slice. So, but that didn't last very long because again, left hand didn't want to talk to right very well. So I feel like whatever you started off with as a junior or when you first started the game kind of will be whatever you do. So I'm one-handed and it's just kind of how it's going to be. So are you two-hand or one-hand on your backhand and why? Let us know in the comments. All right. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Man, it's windy today. Am I at the right club? Where is this wind coming from?
I should have restrung my racket. My eyes are so itchy.
My socks don't quite. How am I going to deal with this wind? Man, it's windy today. I gotta make
I
sure
hope
I tie
Leonard
these.
is stringing those.
Man,
did I have
shoes
enough
tight.
coffee today?
Why is it so freaking windy today?
Tight. Where is
Where's
this
that water
bottle?
bottle?
Did I lock
Did I remember my?
car?
Where's
Where
this
is
phone
this
coming
bag?
from?
Feels tight.
Where is my phone?
Was I supposed to get my kid from school?
Yeah, I think I lost my.
Do
I don't need a
enough
water
battery
bottle.
life on my
Did
cell
I
phone?
bring the right
Where
balls?
is
I
right
think I need a massage.
Man, did I have enough coffee
Maybe I
today?
should
Where is
have.
this
How am I going to
sunscreen?
deal
Do
with
I need
this wind?
sunscreen today?
Let's open the A-Peak app and find my Zen.
As you prepare for your match, let's talk briefly about consistency.
Time to play.